Welcome back to the show. It is so awesome to have you guys back here. Man, this is amazing because you're going to hear part two of Eileen's incredible story and the journey and what brought her here and why she's accomplishing all the major things that she is today. Listen in and have a good time.
Hi, my name's Eileen. I'm Lionel's assistant and one of the trainers here at LyonStrong. Back in 2000, I was doing an adventure race. I was really into just getting out there and doing whatever sports I found interesting. So I was into adventure racing, which is now considered obstacle racing. And I was scaling a wall right at the finish line, and I scaled it wrong. And when I landed, my knee popped out. So I tore my ACL during that race. I had to have ACL surgery, obviously, and it took me a year to recover. So after that year, the first thing I did was go mountain biking by myself at Olita at the trails, and my bike fell off the plank. But instead of letting myself fall, I caught myself with my leg, with my other leg, and then I tore my ACL on that leg. So I had to ride my bike out of there on pure adrenaline and go home, and I had to schedule surgery right away. And that's when I had my second surgery, exactly a year later. So after that, it took me another year to recover. And then I was good and I went back to being active. I was working out. I mostly worked out at home, doing home workouts, whatever. I was really into running, so I would run a lot. And fast forward all the way to 2015, I was at the beach just hanging out with friends and family. And I was walking my dog. I had him on a leash. And all of a sudden, my dog pulled the leash to go say hi to my husband, who had just arrived. And I guess I wasn't prepared for it. So when she yanked the leash, my knee kind of like made a crunching sound. And that's when my knee issues started all over again. So after that, I was overcompensating because my knee was in pain with the other leg. So I went to the doctor. I told him that both my knees were starting to hurt now. And he recommended I have surgery on both of them because I tore all my meniscus on both of them. And he wanted to clean my knees up. So I scheduled this first surgery. This was in 2018. No, 2017, I think. I scheduled the surgery. I had it on my left knee, and he told me to do one knee at a time. So then I went ahead and scheduled for the next surgery in 2018. So I had it scheduled. I was just waiting a little bit to finish recovering from the previous knee. But during the time, I was trying to work out and do what I can. But every time I was working out, I would just injure myself all over again. Just my knees would hurt so bad. I would get a good workout in, and then I couldn't work out for months until I can work out again. And just again, months later, I couldn't. I was always on that vicious cycle. So I was already getting really depressed and down on myself. I was gaining weight because I couldn't keep up with how I used to live before. I was really feeling down on myself. And I remember one night I was sitting out in the balcony with my husband and we were just talking. And I remember feeling physically sick because I weighed more than I had ever weighed. I was just feeling pain constantly 24 hours. I mean, I couldn't squat. If something went under the couch, I couldn't squat to reach for it. I would have to sit on my butt, then practically lay down, put my arm under the couch, get it out, and then have trouble trying to get back up just because of the amount of pain I was in constantly. So I remember just feeling down on myself, and also at the time I had just stopped working. Well, it had already been like a little over a year, but I had stopped working for one of my clients. I'm a virtual assistant. So I usually have like a main client that I dedicate most of my time to, and that one client had just retired. So I stopped working for him and I had been looking for another client to replace him, and I hadn't been able to. So I was down about that as well because it was taking longer than I'd like. So I remember sitting there on the bench with my husband and just telling him, saying it out loud, what I wanted. I was telling him, wouldn't it be great if I could find a gym where I could go work out and have someone supervise me to make sure that I'm moving correctly so I don't keep hurting myself. And then I end up having a great relationship with my coach, and he happens to need an assistant. And then I start working for the gym, and then that would be like my ultimate job because I get to work out there and work for the gym and just do something I love every day. I would love that, and it would help me at the same time. So he was like, yeah, that'd be great. So I even said, like, I'm looking for an older man, preferably single, because usually when older men are single, they need help. They don't have their wives to help them. And I just like laid it out exactly how I wanted it. And I just told him this, and he just listened to me, didn't say much. And then I went inside and I was getting ready for bed, and I laid down in my bed and I started scrolling on my phone and through Facebook. And that's when Lionel popped up, and he's talking about a 6 week challenge, and just like his presence, and he didn't look like the typical gym guy. So just the way he was speaking and the way he presented himself, I was attracted to it. I was like, oh cool, this guy seems like a cool, like I'd hang out with him. So I was like, I'm gonna try this out. So I went and I filled out the form. I got a text right away, and I set up an appointment for the next day to do it. And I'm not the type to go do challenges or anything like that. I mean, I'll join a race and do stuff, but on my own. I won't typically go join a gym with a group of people in a class. Like, I usually do things by myself. So I took a chance. I went, I met with him the next day. He was alone here in the gym. So we came into his office and we spoke for about 3 hours that day. And I just felt like it was easy to talk to him. We got along really well. So I told him about everything that was going on with me, and he immediately suggested that I just postpone my surgery to see if what he could do for me would help my knees. So at first I was hesitant, of course, but then I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I signed up for the challenge. And during that whole interaction, of course, we spoke about what I did for a living. I told him I was a virtual assistant. Turns out that he needed one. So we made a deal that I would join the 6 week program. And if I completed it and I did everything I was supposed to do, if I liked it, if I believed in his method, and if he liked the way I worked and saw that I was dedicated or not, then maybe we could start working together. So I agreed, and that's when we started working together here at LyonStrong. So in the beginning, of course, I was hesitant to do certain kind of moves because I knew what my body was capable of at the time, and it wasn't much. But the good thing about coming here to LyonStrong is that Lionel makes you feel like you could do anything. Like, kind of like he gives you permission to go ahead and do it, even though you've been told before you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. You feel like he gives you the permission to go ahead and do it. So it gives you the confidence. So yeah, I would just do anything that he would tell me to do. I would just do it and try it. I mean, I felt confident too because they're so on top of you here, just looking at you to make sure you're doing everything correctly. So it makes you feel safe. So that's what I did. I just followed the program. I did it. And a few weeks into the program, I mean, we hadn't even finished. We already agreed to start working together. And little by little, I started doing work for him, and it started increasing as we went along the way. So it got to the point where sometimes they hold certifications here. So I got certified in Mace Fit, Mace Flow, and I just shadowed Lionel a lot and just watching everything he does. I also help him with social media. So I get to film him a lot, and that also helps me learn more because I see how he coaches everybody else. So I've learned a lot just by watching him and, of course, by doing it myself. And it's been great because it's helped me improve so much. I mean, not only physically, but in my personal life too. Lionel loves motorcycles, and by coincidence, so do I. So we started talking about that after he got his motorcycle. And he encouraged me and helped me get my first motorcycle. I learned how to ride it, and I've practiced so much with him, and it's just been great. I mean, all around, just having him in my life has been a bonus in every aspect. So it's just great that I feel like I can come here and do whatever I want, be the person that I truly am, and bring out my full potential.
Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to part 2 of Eileen's incredible story. I am so looking forward to next week for the finale, part 3 of her incredible, incredible transformation. Make sure you are here and tuning in for that, because you're going to learn so much more about where she's at and what she's absolutely capable of. Incredible, guys. Anyway, if you have any questions about anything going on with us, how we can actually help you become the biggest, baddest version of you, go ahead and reach out to us on any of our platforms. You can find us at Get LyonStrong on any social media, or you can go on our website at getlyonstrong.com. Go ahead and click on the link, schedule a time to have a conversation, and let's find out how we can help you become the biggest badass that you can be. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one.